Yes.
Okay, I think because of, this is brand new to me, why don't we have Bill chair the meeting and I'll just participate? I mean, Claire, I'm sorry, Claire.
I don't think that's going to work because Claire, you're not, you're coming through sounding a little bit like a chipmunk. I had that problem one meeting not long ago too. I'm not sure what does it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Frank.
Okay, why don't you put the agenda up again? Let's go ahead and get started. Is Jim on the call?
Jim will not be here today.
Oh, okay, so there's just the two of us. Very good. Well, let's call the meeting to order on Thursday, September 9th, and that the minutes show that Claire Hall and Frank Geltner are present, and we have reviewed the minutes and they are approved as distributed. And now we are on other business. OSU Extension 4-H update.
Good morning, all. Good to see you again. A couple of quick updates for you. Let's start with the fair update and bleachers. In my communications with K Park, the manufacturer of the good set of bleachers and the $64,000 ones that you guys approved last meeting, is not able, due to supply chain interruptions, to have those built and delivered before next year at this point. But the young lady there, sales manager gal, put me in touch with one of their very good customers in Iowa City, Iowa, that owns several sets of bleachers and every few years cycles bleachers out. His name is Bill. I communicated with him. He is willing to sell us 2 sets of bleachers at a $13,000 per bleacher discount. So $51 instead of $64,000. I have an invoice. I assume that's okay, but I wanted to bounce it off the fair board that saving $26,000 on slightly used bleachers is better than buying new bleachers and not taking delivery for a year.
Okay, so I guess we need a motion of some sort.
Well, you already approved the $64,000 purchase for the new bleachers. I don't, Wayne, I guess you weigh in on that. Do we need a new motion or just an affirmative that we're willing to accept bleachers that are in new condition but used at the discount?
I think some kind of affirmation by the board in the form of a motion would be appropriate. And then Todd, do you have, how are you? Oh, no, I'm doing that. Hold on a minute.
I think that was just a bandwidth issue, Wayne. It'll probably come right back.
All right, it looks like it's there. How are you getting them transported here?
Well, we haven't figured that out yet. Obviously, with any of them, we're going to have to either pay a company like UShip to do it, or we're going to have to do it. I haven't done a cost analysis yet to figure out what the most economical way to do it is. At this point, I'm still working remotely, and there's no reason that I can't do that on the road. So part of my thinking was that I would just go get them and ask the fair board to pay fuel to do it. Iowa City, Iowa is where they're located, and it would take 2 trips to do it, obviously, because they're 45 feet long. But I was also going to see what a bid would cost to get a company like UShip or a freight company to deliver them.
And my recommendation, Todd, is actually we should get somebody, a shipping company, because they will then require insurance, because that's the one concern you have when you're buying something like that, is making sure that the product is delivered from where it is to our location in an appropriate fashion and in one piece.
Yeah, agreed. I will certainly source that. Again, because we're saving so much money, I assume that we can just roll that shipping into that price. I can't imagine it would be more than $1,000-ish a set, maybe 1,200. But with the approval of that, I'll go ahead and make that happen.
Okay, well, it's going to fall within our original motion in terms of what we budgeted. So I guess all our motion is saying is that we approve this new direction. Is that correct, Wayne?
That's correct.
Okay, well then, would Claire like to make such a motion? Okay, well, we're having a problem with understanding Commissioner Hall. Is there anything we can do to relieve that? Do we have any text options? Can we use the chat function to talk?
Claire says motion to approve purchase of used bleachers in excellent condition instead of new bleachers.
All right, I'll second that motion. Thank you for interpreting. So I guess I'll just ask if there's any further discussion. I guess someone's going to have to act as interpreter here.
I think if Claire gives the thumbs up at the point when you call for the vote, a thumbs up will be approval.
Okay, well, the way that my application is working, I'm only seeing the picture of the person who is talking. I'm not seeing anyone else. So
well, we can translate for you. If you just go ahead and call for the approval and then voice your vote, we'll tell you what Claire's vote is.
Okay, well, in that case, the motion has been made and I'm approving of it. Is Claire approving?
Claire is giving a thumbs up and she approves it.
Okay, very good. Then is there any more from Todd?
That's all I have for the from the fair side. The finances that we talked about last month or that Heather shared appear to be right on track. Most of those are paid now. Nothing unusual. So we certainly did end in the black, and I'm very, very pleased with that. I will note one thing that I didn't note last month when we were chatting about it due to my technical difficulties. It's interesting to note that it was absolutely the rodeo that carried a loss on the fair this year. And if anything, I guess that's just affirmation that we're going the right way with the rodeo and continuing to do that event. We would have lost money without the rodeo, but instead with the rodeo revenue, in particular, the roughly $18,000 in gate fees in tickets, we managed to make about $14,000 on the whole event. So just a little aside, but I guess support for continuing the rodeo as we've been doing it. Moving on to the 4-H side, good news. We have direction in 4-H youth development to begin our new programming year. The whole Delta variant was a little bit spooky, and we didn't know for sure what that was going to lead to, but We do have direction and policies in place to allow us to start face-to-face programming. That means we will begin using the fairgrounds facility. We have a couple of things on the fairgrounds calendar already. We've got Trick or Treat Street, which the aquarium cannot host this year. We've been doing it at the aquarium for a number of years, but they're remodeling the facility, putting in new exhibits, and will not be done in time to host Trick or Treat Street. So we're likely going to end up doing that at the main exhibit hall. We also have a 4-H open house scheduled. We're unsure whether we're going to do that at the fairgrounds in front of the band shell or at our office, but it's on the calendar as well. And the last really good bit of news, I think, is that we're also restarting the after school program. We now have approval for that, and after a nearly 2-year hiatus due to COVID, we will be serving underserved kids with really quality after school STEM programming again. As a reminder, you guys have always supported that in the Harney building at 3 or 4 days a week after school. We're starting it at 3 days a week this year because of the infrastructure problems with the Harney building. We've been moved to the Pick of the Litter building, the photo building, and we're currently sharing that with Salvation Army. They have a bunch of storage in there, but I think we can absolutely make that work. I don't think there's any problem other than just some logistics. Salvation Army didn't understand the other day how to lock up the gates, and they were locking them in a fashion that didn't allow us to get in. They didn't understand that locking lock through lock instead of their lock directly to the chain was necessary so that we still have access. But I think we got that straightened out. So the second week of school, we're not going to do anything the first week of school, but the second week, starting week after next, we will have after school there again as well. So things are looking up. We're pleased and looking forward to a year that isn't as severely impacted by COVID as the previous year and a half has been. I think that's to have, unless someone has questions.
Very good. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you all, and as always, thank you for your support. I certainly couldn't do what we do here without the strong support from the Fair Board.
I guess my only comment would be it would be wonderful to find a way to expand on that audience development that is made possible by the rodeo.
Yeah, and certainly, Frank, that occurs to us as well. We sort of tried to do one thing this year that turned out to be a flop, where we did what we were calling the dance to dirt. It was a concert after the Saturday night rodeo out there in the rodeo grounds, and due to timing issues, we just missed it completely. And everybody left by the time the band got set up and started playing. But yeah, I think successful fairs absolutely capitalize on that 3,000 to 5,000 people in attendance, and they do special promotions timed with the exiting of actually either the entering or the exiting of that large group of people. So yes, thank you for the affirmation that thought does occur to us, and we are working on ways to really capture that clientele in other venues at the fair. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Are you finished now, Todd?
I am, Frank. Thank you.
All right, then the county staff update.
Hi, everybody. Amy Howard here. Just wanted to remind you guys that kind of with all the events that we're thinking of happening at the fairgrounds, that we did approve last month to do testing clinics at the fairgrounds. And a couple weeks after that, Kristen Ewell and Commissioner Hunt requested use of the commons for the booster vaccines. And the only date I was given was autumn through January 2022.
And does that require any action on the part of the board, Wayne?
I think, no, I think you've made that commitment. Obviously, what it's going to do is require some scheduling as things unfold. We don't know at this point, what the additional testing requirements or needs might be, and the same thing with the boosters. And so there's still a lot of undetermined actions that are going to be taken, as we move forward with dealing with COVID and the variants and those things anyway. So I think it's just a reaffirmation that these are an important, vital part of the response that we're making to COVID, and we'll just work the scheduling around the needs for public health.
Okay, so Wayne, my only question is, why did we change platforms for our meeting?
That was a decision that the board made. Zoom actually has more capabilities for us to allow people to participate. It's really a much more robust platform to get people who want to come in and participate. There was more limitations with the GoToMeeting platform.
Oh, okay.
And so this is something that's being done countywide. We're actually moving off into the Zoom platform, and we're still utilizing GoToMeeting, but we're trying to utilize Zoom more often.
Got it. Okay, well, just that it didn't allow us for full participation. So, okay, so is there anything else on the part of the county staff before we adjourn?
Yeah.
I think Jenny Damaris, right?
Yeah, she didn't make it onto the agenda, but we do have Jenny on.
Go for it.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I think Christy is going to display for you just a short little overview of what we are looking to propose, and hope that the Fair Board will work with us on our request. Our request is to use part of the fairgrounds property during our national exercise for Cascadia Rising in June of 2022, the second week of June. I'm just checking to make sure my email went through to Christy. I think our network at the county has been kind of slow today. Oh, stand by. Hold on, Christy. It went to Kristen instead of Christy. Okay, now it's coming across. Okay, so what we would like to do is basically reserve the fairgrounds property for the entire week of June 13th, starting on that Saturday, starting on Saturday, June 11th, all the way through Friday the 17th. We did this previously in 2016 as part of the Cascadia Rising exercise in June 2016, but we just used that one sort of area over by the animal shelter. However, this time we will be expanding our capability for this exercise and doing something the entire week. On the schedule that I have, which Christy's about there, my apologies for sending it to the wrong person. We have several days that we're doing something different, and we're also going to be trying to partner with some of our other state and regional partners, that they may be bringing some of their assets to this exercise as well. Because it is a Cascadia earthquake scenario, we are assuming that all of our technology, equipment, and buildings are not actually functioning. So we wouldn't be having our exercises inside the buildings. We would be doing everything outside. So on that slide right there where Christy has, it just shows the different days that we are doing different activities. And for correlation to the Fair Board, where it says full field operations, that's where we would have all of our tents, trailers, equipment, everything would be set up, and it would be set up 24 hours. So we wouldn't be taking it down at the end of the day. That's why we're actually looking to use the inside of the fairgrounds area where it is fenced in, so we can close and lock everything up at night. It also allows for traffic. We may have want to use some of the inside buildings just for internal operations for command and control participating in the exercise. And I think this time we're going to need a lot more space than what we will last time. And Christy, if you just scroll down a little bit further to the photo image, should be page 2. Should be
Ooh,
page 2.
Page 2 is not coming up. Let's see.
Okay. I think it's because it's in a Google document. There we go.
There
Let's
we
try
go.
that. There we go. So here's an image of what we did in 2016, and we partnered with the city of Newport. But this time we'll have probably at least 3 more tents and probably 4 or 5 more trailers. And if some of our other partners come with us, then we would need additional space. And we plan to use the fairgrounds during a catastrophic event for mass care and shelter, county continuity of government, for our emergency operations center. We have our fuel point of distribution over at the fleet services, but that may need an area to overflow as well. So during a large scale catastrophic event, the fairgrounds property is invaluable to our county government. So we're just looking to borrow the whole fairgrounds for the whole week. But I know you have the fair coming up directly after that, so we'll be wrapped up quickly and out of there.
Is Todd still on the call?
I am here, Frank, and yeah, my only concern would be that the fair would be the move-in would actually be the very next week, and then the fair the following week. It doesn't leave us much time for preparation, mowing the grounds, cleaning the main hall, that sort of thing. But I think we can make it work. It'll be a tight turnaround, but I think it works us.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be completely out of there Thursday afternoon, Friday morning at the latest.
Okay. The only
We'll
thing
make it
I have observed, Jenny, is that you continue to refer to it as by its old name, and we are calling it the Commons these days. So I hope your publicity will reflect that.
It will, sir. Yes, it will.
Okay, Wayne, do you have anything to add?
No, I just think that some of the logistics that Todd talked about, and maybe making sure that the property is mowed before actually Jenny and her group gets in there. That might be something to do. At least get things prepped so that there's a seamless transfer from that event to the fair. That'd be great.
Do we need any action on the part of the board?
I think just a motion to authorize the use of the property for this purpose.
All right. How does Commissioner Hall feel? Since I can't see him.
Hold on just a minute. I'm not seeing Claire on there. Claire.
Claire says, I move that the Fair Board authorize use of the Commons property for Cascadia Rising in June 2022.
Very good. Okay, I second the motion. Is there any further discussion? I would say probably not. If Claire agrees, then all those in favor say aye. I approve.
And Claire is indicating thumbs up. She approves too.
Okay, very good. All right, do we have anything else to discuss today?
I do have a question. What do you guys want me to do with the Harney building? At this point, I haven't done any of the repairs to it. I haven't even begun to even look into the process of getting it repaired. Do we want to spend the time and effort to even try to do it?
Can I
Wayne.
suggest we have a little more discussion about that, Jack, so we get an idea of the scope of what would need to be done on an interim basis? Obviously that's not part of the overall master plan for the Commons. So, we just have to, I think we need more information to present to the Fair Board about what the cost might be and the benefits in terms of the timing of what we're going to do with the redevelopment. So.
You want to do that now, or would you like to do that later, Dave?
I think, I'll be around today if you want to come over and talk about that some more.
Okay,
Okay.
will do.
Does that include raising the building?
Eventually it will be. Yes.
Yeah, that is a distinct possibility.
Is that something we would do sooner than later?
I think that's one of the considerations we'd have to do. We need to talk about what it is that needs to be done and whether it has any use. You know,
All right,
so
so-
we'll talk to Todd too. We'll talk to Todd and make sure 4-H, we know the 4-H's needs for that facility.
So can this be on the October 14th agenda?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Is there any further business on the part of the Fair Board?
Hey, Frank, I need to circle back real quick to scheduling. I foresee a problem potentially with our trick or treat street event and the COVID clinics that both may need to use the main hall. And Amy, I guess I'm gonna ask you: does the high school need the livestock barn for their Halloween scary house this year? I'm just wondering if that's an option to ease the schedule burden.
With Delta, they decided to not go ahead with the haunted house this year.
Maybe Amy's not with us.
I'm with you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
so potentially we could move our trick or treat straight to the livestock barn. So I'll work with. Yeah, I hear you, Amy. And yeah, that means that we potentially can spread out and use the livestock barn on one end and the main hall. So I think we're okay. I'll coordinate with Amy and just the comment that as we start getting more use, being sure we get that stuff on the calendar is going to become important again. We've all had a break during COVID where we're not using it. And now we're going to have to start using the calendar and using the fairgrounds again. Thank you. That was my only question.
All right, very good. Wayne, are you still with us?
I am.
Okay, very good. So is there anything else we need to discuss before adjourning?
Not today.
All right, thank you, everyone. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all.